everybody. How's it going? Welcome to What is Fabrizio Inking? Although I'm not inking today. Not sure what I'm going to do exactly. This is going to be a little less structured. If you are new to the channel, or me or my art, my name is Fabrizio Ayala, and I have a comic book called Horace H. Hoover, New York City's greatest occult-time detective, space-time occult detective vacuum. Sort of a 1920s mystery adventure with a guy that has something that looks suspiciously like a vacuum cleaner on his head. So check it out. It'll be available for purchase June 21st on my site, HoraceHoover.com. And I will be sending out sort of a first day only coupon. So if you sign up to my Substack on HoraceHoover.com, you will get a coupon in the mail, in the email on the internet. So yeah, check that out. Let me know what you think. These are fresh off the printer. Very nice, like a really nice quality. There's a matte cover. Interior's printed out really nice. So I am pretty excited about that. All right, let's see who's in chat. Miss Saren, good afternoon. Hey, how's it going? Ben Soto, hey, what's up, man? Not inking on a stream called Inking Comics with a Brush. I know, I thought, should I change the title? I'm like, no, that's clickbait, right? I'm not even sure what I'm going to be doing. I might just be drawing. I might just be drinking my coffee. Who knows what's going on? Dominoes, hey, how's it going? What printer are you using? I'm using Mixum. I tried a bunch, and due to time constraints, I went with Mixum, but man, I really like the quality. So it's a little thicker paper, stock. I got 70-pound interior, 80-pound cover, 100-pound cover. But I really like the quality. What I think I might do is, after the mini series is done, the next book I do, I might try out another printer. But as of right now, I'm really happy with the quality, shipping times, everything. Nothing was damaged, packed well. So sometimes you just got to go with the best available given the time. And I was kind of lucky. I really enjoyed this. I hated the process, but I enjoyed the outcome. So yeah, I started actually a database of, I don't know how many printer companies out there. Some are recommendations. I got one from you. I got some other ones. And I've been ordering samples from all of those companies and trying to kind of, just because you can't remember what you did and when, what company did I get samples from? How were they? What do I think of them? I'm going to actually post that online sometime. Maybe other people can contribute to like this database of printer companies and quality and just overall reviews. Who knows? Or somebody can just take that idea and run with it, and then I'll just use it. Comedian W. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Yeah, today's, I think I'm just drawing. I was in the middle of drawing, so I figured instead of like switching, going to some random drawing to ink, I'm just going to continue with what I'm working on, which is, hopefully you can see this. It is a page. It's just roughed out right now. This is the cover to issue 4. I already did a cover for issue 4. This is my second try. Yeah, I finished ink. I did everything for the other cover, but I still didn't feel like it wasn't dynamic enough. So if you can see, we have the demon from issue 2. And this is the gypsy wagon that he's smashed. We have Horace here. And then Slurp is injured. They're in a rough spot. And then you have Max back here. So the reason I wanted to work with this, maybe I'll get more light. Hold on. Cause brain damage on my end though. Jeez, that's bright. maybe that's better. The reason I wanted to use this is I'm not happy with where it's at. I'm like 80% happy, 70% happy, but there's definitely some things that I need to convey that I'm just not there yet. So if you guys are interested in the ugly part of drawing, welcome. If you're hoping for some beautiful finished drawing, I don't know if this is the stream for you. Alrighty. So one of the big things that, again, that I wasn't able to, that I'm not really happy with, is conveying proportions and distance. So you have Horace up front, and then you have this demon. Now, I think that the scale works for that. You know, the size of the gypsy wagon getting crushed, the size of this demon, and then Slurp would sort of be middle ground. All of that does work, but Max doesn't. I think he's too small. But he has to be in the image, and I want to show him either knocked out, struggling, something. So I'm going to be playing with a lot of that. So I'm going to erase Max. Something that you will notice is I erase a lot, all the time. I am not precious about any marks I put down. I can be 90% done with a page. I'll still go back to erasing if I'm not happy with something. All right, so let's see here. So if the wagon is back here and it's crumpled and you have broken wheels, and say the ground is here. We can rough in just some basic perspective lines. Easy Comic Reader, hey, how's it going? Everybody's having a good long weekend. Hopefully everybody got a long weekend. Now the other thing is, if I don't want to leave Max out. I think that's not great. But you also want to leave a space for, not negative space, but just space where there isn't a character sometimes. So it might be nice maybe if Max is maybe popping his head in just off the side, and that, you know, he'll be in front of Horace, which means he can be bigger, which is fine. We don't really need to see Max's face, I don't think. Maybe Max is popping in from the side, and they're talking. You know, this is where maybe Max is like, it's hopeless, you know, what are we going to do? You know, Mr. Sinclair is going to be trapped forever in an hour. You know, I love dialogue on covers like that, and I don't think I've had any yet. So that might work out. Just Max popping his head in on the side here. We'll definitely know it's Max from a few things. One is his very distinctly colored shirt and vest. That was not by accident. None of the colors by accident. That way you can pick out Slurp or Max a mile away based on the colors, just like they used to do. Yeah, actually, I think I like that. So Max is here, and he's like, hey boss, what are we gonna do? There's no way out. Maybe up here, the demon is like saying something. I don't have a ton of dialogue, but I just want to basically set up the scene, show a little bit of urgency right from the get-go. You know what? I will actually show the original drawing. 1 second. Okay, so this is definitely some sneak peek stuff here. These are the pencils for issue 4. And basically what I do is I keep them all separate in these little portfolios so they don't end up in some nameless drawer. So this is the original drawing I had. Hopefully you can see that. I think I posted this on Twitter. See, the demon is the main like centerpiece, right? And he's got Horace in his clutches, and Horace is looking pretty rough here. But you have sort of Slurp jumping, about to attack him from the back. And then you have Max down here, kind of crawling through the rubble. So this was... Man, I mean, I actually really like this drawing, but sometimes it just doesn't work as a cover as much as I liked this one. Maybe I use it for something else later on, but you know, this really like he's the focus, and I don't know, I'm liking this. I do like this a lot, but just wanted something a little different for the cover, so. It's a little more balanced. So like for this one, you'll see that, I know I'm talking a lot, not drawing too much, but hopefully you can see this, that it's just balanced. So we'll say this demon takes up 30%, Horace takes up 35%, and then 10% or whatever, and then Max over here. So it just I think makes for a better cover whenever you have this kind of balance between all the different characters, and then you set up a little bit of drama and suspense. Okay, enough talking, Fabrizio. Draw. And something like this, just a heads up, you know, I have this roughed out right now. I mean, from this to a finished drawing, we're looking at least 4 or 5 hours. So, you know, today I'm hoping it's 3:15, 45 minutes. Basically, I'll have everybody roughed in. They might have something wrong, you know, maybe the hand is wrong, maybe, I don't know, the foot is wrong, something. Hopefully that'll be done by the end of, 45 minutes, but I really won't get into the really nitty gritty till much later. But this is part of the process, so. I admire your organization. I have pages buried in piles of comics and shopping bags. I have 4 to 5 mounds I have to dig through when I'm looking for certain pages. I used to do that. I mean, I still have a lot of that. I have drawers and drawers. I just went through a drawer of my quote-unquote miscellaneous drawings and ideas, and I spent an hour and a half going through here, going through that. Sometimes it's impossible to organize because, oh, this is a random idea I had. This is a random drawing I did. Like, where do you put that other than miscellaneous? And then you have to go through it each time. But for the horror stuff, I try to be as organized as possible, because that, if I need to find something, I can't spend 3 hours doing that. So one thing I will do though is as I'm working on this, there are some things that just are wrong, and I'll fix them as I do the other stuff. So his leg was way too thick. So this is more like a marker of what I'll be doing later, but I just had to thin up his leg because it was so huge. All right, so if Max is definitely going to be out here, which I think he is, definitely get a little bit. saw that there was a Frank Miller documentary coming out. I don't know if I missed it before, but really excited about that. Just popped up on my feed like yesterday or the day before. So that's, I'm really excited about that. So, since these guys are battle worn right now, I will draw them normally, and then essentially I'll go back in and, you know, rip some clothing here or dirty up this, scratch that. I'll do that later though. Just ordered some comic books off of eBay, which I have got to stop doing. I used to be way less lazy, and I used to go to, there's a local comic book shop, there's one by my work, and then there's one downtown that has a bunch of stuff. But man, the past couple of months, I've only gotten to the comic book shops like twice. I keep ordering online, which I gotta stop doing. Do I want his arm to be up? Or is he just exhausted? His arm's at his side. As far as cover artists, Easy Comic Reader, the long time coming documentary Frank Miller, American Genius, is getting a one night only theatrical. One night only? Damn it. I didn't realize it was one night only. Man, I'm gonna have to get my tickets. Hopefully, I don't know. Oh man, thanks for letting me know. I just assumed it was a regular old movie that I could see anytime. What books did you order? I ordered Transformers. I know everybody's been raving about it, and I did go to the one comic book shop like a couple months ago, whenever it was. They didn't have any. I just got really frustrated. So I'm like, you know what? I know eBay is going to really screw me on the price, but I at least ordered the first issue for like $20. And then the volume 1, I think, was something. I don't know how much that was. Maybe $20 too. What else did I order? I did recently get Sergio Aragonés Massacres, The Marvel U. I haven't read it yet though. Just got it a little bit ago. Yeah, so you'll notice I just kind of go over things, and hopefully that each time I go over it, it's got a little more detail, and some of the errors in perspective or proportion are getting fixed each time. It will take place in Los Angeles at the Cinemark. Be live streamed to all other theaters across the country. That's pretty crazy. I've never heard of that. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into that. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like Frank Miller and Alan Moore really have, I don't know, people, they get mad what Alan Moore says about X or Y, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, yeah, Killing Joke wasn't even that good, or yeah, The Dark Knight wasn't that great, because I'm like, no, you're actually wrong. The Dark Knight is still a great book, you know. Killing Joke is still very good despite what people say. As far as, you know, what it influenced afterwards, I mean, you can't help that. Like, so I just feel like they did wonders for comics for a long time, and people are very quick to either not remember that because they said something they didn't like. Sorry, I'm just looking at the scale of this, which I think works. Max is pretty far up, closer, because obviously Max is quite a bit smaller than Horace. Nice, Transformers have been great. I thought I would drop it when Daniel Warren Johnson quit drawing it after issue 6, but Jorge Corona is doing an amazing job. The man is a master of the small panel. Oh, it makes me so mad that I didn't get them originally. I tried, because everybody was raving about them. So I went to the biggest comic book shop near me, and they had nothing. I'm like, all right, well, I'll get it next time, or this or that. And by then, it skyrockets in value, and then I just get frustrated. I was thinking about that, though. Somebody had posted something. Was it Mark Millar? I can't remember who it was. But basically they said, you know, due to how well Transformers and some of these books are doing, I think G.I. Joe was the other one, it just goes to show that people still buy comics. They're looking for good comics. And I'm a big contrarian. So I like to disagree with people. It is true. I mean, obviously, people just want good comics, and they will spend it. I'm not, you know, on the surface, yes, that is totally true. But I guess the real question is, if this wasn't Transformers, would it be doing as well? If it was his own IP with maybe even they were robots, would it be doing as well? I mean, the answer is definitely no. Because word of mouth is two things. One is, what's a good book currently out there, and what is it about? And some people are just going to buy Transformers because it's Transformers. And I'm one of those people that, man, if I hear there's a good book and it's Transformers, there's no chance I'm not going to get it. If I hear it was a good book and it was a new IP, I might pick it up eventually, maybe, but it probably won't be, you know, the first thing I think of whenever I go to a comic book shop. So there is that still reliance on like those old, really great IPs, those character designs that have lasted 40 years. I mean, I can't think of, and I could be wrong because I don't read a lot of new comics. I'm reading more than I used to, but, you know, there's so many new comics out there, you can't really, you can't keep up with all of them. But, you know, what new, really great character design, costume designs have we seen that have become iconic? Even if you take, and I haven't read or watched Invincible, even though everybody tells me to, to me, those character designs are I don't know. I don't want to call them rip-offs, but they're not anything special. Yeah, to me, they're not new. They're not, I don't know. They just don't have that it. Comedian, a lot of moments in the book will also have added weight because of the work laid down by the artist who worked on this series before. 100%. Exactly. That's really what it is. Yeah, whatever the story is, you know, I don't know, Doctor Doom takes over the Marvel Universe and kills everybody. But the only reason that works, or has any weight, like you said, is because of the stuff that happened before it. If you just introduced this new character that killed a bunch of other characters you don't know, then nobody cares. It has no weight. It has zero impact. So we're still relying on the decades and decades of work that everybody else did before. To that point, I'll say that I wanted to like the Thundercats, but the first issue sucked. Didn't pick up issue 2, but Transformers has been legit good. I've stuck with the run since issue 1. That's a bummer too, because I freaking love Thundercats. Yeah, I'm actually, it's funny. I'm really getting interested in some new comics, and that's hasn't happened in a long time, and that's fun. All right, so Horace is looking pretty good, you know, for the most part. We'll definitely change some things. I'll maybe make his glove a little smaller, but I think his location on the page is good. It's got a pretty good composition. So in theory, your eye would start at the bottom with Max here. And if he has a balloon, it would this would pull you in. You get to see the balloon. You go through Horace, you know. A lot of this is maybe a little too artsy, but, you know, that'll draw you into the big demon guy and then up into the title. So composition sometimes are happy accidents, and don't let anybody tell you that every panel of every page that the masters did was designed, you know, overly designed. Sometimes it's happy accidents. Sometimes they're just so good at it they do it naturally. But yeah, sometimes you need to have certain things on the page, and the way that gets laid out just happens to make for a pretty good composition. And then you can tweak it from there, obviously. Yeah, I think I mentioned in the last stream, I kind of want to do a book club. Just get like 3 or 4 people. We'll pick new books and just do like a little book club once a month or something. There's a lot of reviews out there just by people, but it might be kind of fun to just kind of open it up, and whoever read the book, just kind of go over it. Thanks, Easy Comic Reader. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is... Sometimes it's tough to throw away a page you did, even though you like that other page. But, you know, this is going to live quite a bit longer as the cover, and it's going to be something I'm going to be forced to look at over and over and over again. So it really has to meet certain criteria. Yeah, maybe over the next month or 2, I'll post something on Twitter, and anybody who's interested in maybe doing a book club kind of thing, let me know. I can't read a ton of comics. as terrible as that sounds, just because I have so much drawing to do. But I do read some. Yeah. Thanks, Easy Comic Reader. I know your time difference, but yeah, I'll throw something up on Twitter and see who's into it. And it's not like everybody needs to make it every time. If people want to pop in, chat about a particular book, it'd be cool. Yeah, Ben. Yeah, let's definitely chat about that. I thought you would be into it. Especially since, like I said, it would be fun to pick new books that are kind of making a splash or that people don't know. Space Ghost issue 1 was good. Looking forward to the next one. Should be too late to get that one though. Oh, it shouldn't be too late. Yeah, you know what? I actually saw that too. That people were digging Space Ghost. I gotta grab that. What day is today? Today is Sunday. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. I don't know what places are open. Maybe I'll head to that comic book shop. Yeah, this is a better cover than the other one for sure. So I think I mentioned at the beginning, June 21st is whenever Horace H. Hoover will be available on my site, horacehoover.com, horacehoover.com, and horacehoover.com, I think. So check it out. I'm excited about that. And I have a comic book convention this weekend at Pittsburgh, PA. So that, I'm hoping it's fun. I've never been to this one. Well, not this one in particular, I'll say. So it's a smaller one, which is nice. Three Rivers as opposed to Steel City. Steel City is like pop culture type stuff. So, but this one is focused on comics, so that's pretty cool. No traveling needed. So I basically stay in this stage for a while, which means I darken the line that I actually want to keep. You know, I don't erase everything, but I just make sure that I know what which line it is that I actually want to, whenever I erase, that I want to draw back in. And then what I'll do is I'm doing a little bit of it. So I erase some of those construction lines just so it's a little more clear. And then after I erase the construction lines, like the lighter lines that got me to the right one, then I'll essentially take a kneaded eraser and I'll lighten the entire page. And then I'll do the final pencils. So this is why primarily that I pencil and ink on different pages, because I erase a lot and this paper is really good about letting me erase, but if I tried to ink back into it, it would bleed all over the place. It would kind of be a nightmare, as opposed to printing out on blue line on really nice clean paper that has a real smooth surface. So the brush just kind of glides. I'm really excited to finish issue 4. It'll be a while, but I'm penciling page 15, 14, something like that. I definitely had to sort of take a break to get all the publishing, printing stuff done. Now that that's set, I can get back to just knocking out some pages. The other thing too that I definitely will do is flip the drawing. So I'll take a photograph of it before I get too far to make sure I haven't messed anything up. Hey Captain Goodnight, how's it going? You grip the lead holder in different places for different types of lines. Halfway up for blocking out, just above the middle grip for construction, then on the grip for final lines. I didn't notice I did that. Yeah, I mean, I guess the further you hold it up, that's kind of like for gestural stuff. I guess I've been doing it for so long I didn't notice it, but you know, when you're really just blocking something out, if you're up here, it's just much more difficult. You have to use your whole arm. So the further you hold it up, the more bang for your buck you get, basically. You know, you get big lines with just a little. If I had to do that, I would have to move my whole arm. So that's kind of what that is for. And then whenever you need to do really detailed stuff, you need to get in there close. But yeah, I guess I just do that naturally. It's been so long. It's funny you point that out. Okay, so at this point, yeah, I'm gonna keep essentially darkening areas. So whenever I do lighten everything up, I can still see what's going on. And I want to make sure this gypsy wagon is still readable as a wagon, but I want to show that it's definitely been crushed. So there's going to be a lot of debris, all sorts of stuff scattered. Tarot cards flying in the wind. Just kidding. A special thanks to Captain Goodnight, who helped proof the new published versions of the comics. I went in and added some stuff and changed some things, and I didn't have a chance to send it back to my regular proofer. So Captain Goodnight really saved my bacon on that. I'm getting a little confused of what some of these lines are, so I gotta go in and... because this is his loincloth. Maybe it's not loin. Or linen. I didn't mean to say loin. Or canvas. Maybe it's skin, human flesh. That'd be fun. His one leg actually has to come out and back in. Logan Andrews. Way to go, Cap. Yeah, seriously. Huge help. Unreal. One of the things I learned working for an advertising agency is you need a proofer. And it is a very, very specific type of skill that not a lot of people have. You know, you can send it to your family and friends. Sometimes they'll find things, but oftentimes, unless they have that certain, I don't know what it is, that skill set, you know, you'll have 10 people and none of them will find a typo. None of them. And then that one person, they're like, oh, this is obviously spelled wrong. I'm like, you are absolutely right. And I don't know how all of us missed it. So the other thing I don't do at this stage is, if there's really fine detail, I don't even block it in. You know, for example, this demon is going to have like ropes, chains around him. If I tried to add it in at this point, it would be a mess. The most I would do is just lightly imply it. That's it, though. Fresh eyes do wonders. Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to the new prints. Yeah, Captain Goodnight, you have to send me your address. I will get you those copies. If you already did, I can't remember. In Twitter, I'll check, but... yeah, so like, I'll do it here. So he has these ropes and chains kind of binding his wings, so to speak. So I'll just really, you know, loosely just remind myself that they're there. even if these aren't the last lines, just because if not, you'll just forget about them. Or I will forget about them, I should say. Because you focus on so many things at a time. And sometimes if you want, if something should be in perspective, you want to rough it in perspective. Like these things that would wrap around him. Oh, it's 3:49. Yeah, so I actually got pretty far. I know, again, this doesn't look shiny and nice, but this is the stuff that you do the final drawing with. There's a lot of construction stuff going on here. I'll even put sometimes a little bit of shadow stuff, so I just put, what direction the light's coming from, so I don't forget. And I'll rough in like the shadow on this part of the gypsy wagon over here. Maybe just a shadow under his chin. His deltoid getting a little bit of shadow. His back. But I don't go too crazy with shadows at this point, just because it can muddy up some things. More like landmarks than anything, we'll say. Yeah, something else I actually started kind of mulling over, thinking about, is a card game or a board game. Not necessarily Horace H. Hoover related either. I was going through, speaking of going through old stuff, my pile of ideas or whatever, I had an idea for a computer game. I'm a programmer, so I had started it, but then I just bailed because you get home, the last thing you want to do is program, so... but I'm like, maybe I can turn that into a card game or a board game or something. So, who knows? Maybe that'll be something that I do later this year. I'm not a huge board game player, but I've always liked it. So, I threw my hat in the ring for that. I was talking with Yang Jang Zhao, who is really big into like RPG stuff, so maybe we'll collaborate on something. Alrighty. Yeah, I think I'm actually ready to knock this down, which I will not do right now. The other thing too, at this point, I have to make sure I have everything that I need in the scene. Are there Easter eggs that I want to put down on the ground here? Maybe, Is there anything else that I really need to show to make it a better cover? But if I have everything, then yeah, I would basically take a kneaded eraser and just erase the whole thing from the top to the bottom. Just leaving enough so I know where everything is whenever I go back and do the final pencils. Alrighty. Yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah, I've been reading some of the old X Factor stuff. And some of those Walt Simonson covers are just some of the best. So that's where I was like, you know what, I need to up my game from that last drawing I did. Last version of the cover. Not to compare myself to Walt Simonson, but just trying to maybe distill some of the cool factor that he has for his covers, Thor stuff. Alrighty. Sounds good. Yeah, keep an eye out on Twitter for all the stuff, all the things going on for June 21st. I'll probably live stream from the convention, which will be pretty fun. Maybe I'll do a tour of the convention floor. As far as people there, I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the list too far in advance. I did see Ron Friends is going to be there, who I am a huge fan of Ron Friends. So I'll definitely see if I can meet him, maybe have him sign some stuff. Yeah, I haven't looked at the list on who's actually going to be attending. It's pretty small, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll do a live stream, and because that'll be next weekend, so I probably won't be doing drawing, but I'll do a quick video, the show floor. Yeah, thanks everybody for popping in. I appreciate it. Have a really good the rest of your Memorial Day weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye.